Commission presents The Story of Miriam by Gloria Kearney. Episode 1, Oppression in Egypt.
"2,000 years ago, the land of Egypt was a superpower. The River Nile fed and watered its people, and they built great cities along it. Egyptians traded far and wide across the Mediterranean Sea. But Pharaoh, ruler of this mighty land of Egypt, was deeply concerned about the security of his country. Many of the subjects were foreigners who'd come to live in Egypt many years earlier. They were called Hebrews, and one of them, the legendary Joseph, had saved Egypt from the ravages of famine in a previous dynasty. In return, Joseph's descendants, the Hebrews, had been allowed to remain in Egypt. But they had been enslaved, working on building projects, and had been subservient to their Egyptian masters. But now, Pharaoh had a problem.
Your Majesty, ruler of rulers, the Vizier Hapu and the Treasurer Keti are here.
By time. Enter. Did I not tell you to hurry? Servants, I will speak with my advisors. You will leave now and guard the entrance. No one is permitted to enter.
Of course, Your Majesty. We will guard the door.
Both of you, sit. What are we going to do? No, what are you going to do? Something will have to be done about these Hebrews.
Your Majesty, may you live, prosper and be healthy.
Your Majesty, Lord of the Two Lands, the Hebrews have long been a problem. We have discussed this issue many times.
I thought we had solved the problem when we made them our slaves.
And that was a wonderful idea, Your Majesty, but truly inspired.
And we appointed the most cruel taskmasters over them. We planned to wear them down with crushing labour, make them so weak they would die in their thousands.
So why hasn't it worked, Kearney? The land of Goshen is overrun with Hebrews. They already outnumbered us before we made them slaves, but now there are more of them than ever. What will happen if a war breaks out? They'll join our enemies and fight against us. That cannot be allowed to happen.
We must remember, Your Majesty, that we don't want to get rid of all of them. They are useful to us, building cities, working in the fields, and all for no pay.
I am aware of their usefulness, Hapu. We need to be clever about this. I appointed you both to your high positions to advise me at times like this. So advise me, gentlemen.
Your Majesty, I think I have an idea that might work. I think we've been looking at the problem in the wrong way. Now, here is a possible plan.
Oh, poor. I don't like this. I don't like it at all.
Hebrew women have never been summoned to appear before Pharaoh. What can it mean, Shifra?
I'm sure it doesn't mean anything good. He's a cruel man, the Pharaoh.
Shh! Don't speak like that. You don't know who might be listening. Even here in Goshen, Pharaoh has his spies.
What could he possibly want with us? We're just lowly Hebrew midwives.
Well, we'll soon find out. We're nearly there. I hope it won't take too long. There's a woman in Cahun who is due to deliver today. I would need to go to her soon.
I feel sick. I hate being anywhere near the Pharaoh's house. I hate the way the soldiers who guard the gates look at us and speak to us. May the God of our fathers, Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, protect us from all harm.
Stop! Be off with you! How dare you approach the gates of the Pharaoh's house? Away with you, you worthless Hebrew slaves! Go back where you belong.
Sir, His Majesty, the mighty Pharaoh, ruler of all rulers, sent for us.
A likely story. Why would His Majesty send for you? Away with you, or I'll run you through my sword.
Soldier, put your sword away. His Majesty has indeed sent for 2 Hebrew women. What are your names?
Shifra, sir.
Pua, sir.
Very good. Come this way. His Majesty will see you now.
How could he ask us to do this? To kill the babies we deliver?
Not all of them, just the little boys. I can't bear it. How could I tear a newborn baby away from his mother? A child given by God, prayed for and longed for.
Having a child, especially a son, is the only cause for celebration many families have these days. This life of slavery is just misery upon misery. The taskmasters never let up. Everyone works until he can work no longer.
They don't even give us time to grieve properly when someone dies. Life is cheap and no one cares.
It wasn't always like this. My grandmother used to tell me stories of what it was like before this pharaoh ruled in Egypt. We were well respected, and the Egyptians treated us kindly.
If only we'd lived in the days of Joseph. Imagine having a Hebrew in such a high position in the land.
That's what we need. Someone in authority who's on our side. Someone who will deliver us. You know, my husband tells me that he and his friends sometimes talk about the possibility of all of us Hebrew slaves rising up against the taskmasters and the rulers.
Shh, Shifra. You need to be more careful how you speak. That would never work anyway. Our men are too worn out by forced labour to be any use in an uprising, especially against the might of Pharaoh's army. And talking like this won't help us with our problem. How are we going to obey Pharaoh? I'm on my way to Cahoon. What will I do if the child I deliver is a boy? I've never harmed a child in my life.
Neither have I. And I'm not going to start now.
What do you mean? You're going to disobey Pharaoh? Shifra, you can't. He'll find out, you know.
Pua, I couldn't kill a child. And I don't think you could either. We'll just have to take the risk and trust in God to deliver us from Pharaoh's spies.
It didn't take long for news of the midwives' rebellion to reach the ears of the Pharaoh, and once again Shipra and Pua received a summons from the Egyptian ruler.
Your Majesty, ruler of rulers, may you live long and prosper and be healthy.
The Hebrew midwives are here, Your Majesty.
I can see that. Well, well, well. The Hebrew midwives. I see you bow and grovel at my feet, and so you should. It has come to my attention that you have dared to disobey my command. Did I not command you to kill any boys born to the Hebrew women? Did I not give that command from this very throne?
Yes, you did indeed give this command, Almighty Pharaoh.
Then why have you allowed the boys to live? Why have you done this? I dare you disobey the order of the Pharaoh, the Lord of the two lands, ruler of all of Egypt. That includes the land of Goshen and the wretched Hebrews who live there and are multiplying in every day. And you've done nothing to stop them.
May it please Your Majesty to hear our explanation?
An explanation? You have an explanation for your rebellious actions?
Your Majesty, the Hebrew women are not like Egyptian women. They are strong because they're working hard in the fields every day, providing food for you and your people.
They work in the fields right until they're due to deliver. They are more vigorous than the Egyptian women.
They have their babies so quickly that we can't get to them in time. May it please Your Majesty to be merciful to your servants, for we have made every effort to carry out your command.
Useless as well as disobedient. Useless, worthless slaves can't obey a simple order. Get out of my sight. Go. Go before I have you run through with a spear. Servants, send for my advisors and tell them to come here instantly.
We are on our way, Your Majesty.
They're outside awaiting your pleasure, Your Majesty.
I will fix this once and for all. No more using Hebrews to do the job. I will send a proclamation to every town and city in Egypt. I will order every Egyptian to be on the lookout for those strong Hebrew women who deliver so quickly. And I'll order them to hunt down those babies and throw them into the river Nile. That will surely solve my problem.
Who is it?
Shifra.
Oh, come in, Shifra. It's a little cooler inside. Would you like some water to drink?
Oh, that would be lovely. Thank you.
I wasn't sure if you would remember me.
Of course I do. You're Jochebed, Amram's wife. I delivered your little girl some years ago. I've forgotten her name.
Oh, we called her Miriam. A strange name, some say. It means bitter. But then we live in bitter days, so we thought it was appropriate. She's 6 now, and we've had a son since then. Aaron was born nearly 3 years ago.
They're not here?
No. I wanted to speak with you privately. You know what little ears are like. I think I might be with child again. Would you be able to tell for certain if you examine me?
I might be able to. Can you lie down on a bed for me? Behind the curtain there.
I'm almost afraid to know. It's such a terrible time to have a child.
Terrible. The Egyptians are watching and listening all the time. It just breaks my heart to see all those little babies thrown in the river. Fathers and brothers desperately trying to find the little bodies when the coast is clear. Babies buried in boxes under the houses. So much pain. So much grief.
Well, what do you think?
Jochebed, I'm certain you're with child. Pray to our God that he will grant you a girl. Send for me when your time comes.
Oh, I hope Amram comes home soon. I need to tell him the news. We will have to pray that God will be merciful. Amram, the children are asleep at last. I need to talk to you. I have some news for you. Oh, bittersweet news, I'm afraid.
Jochebed, my dear, what is the matter? Why are you crying?
Well, my news should be the best news in the world. We're going to have another child. Oh, but what if we have a boy? Oh, Amram, what will we do if we have a boy?
Oh, that is indeed bittersweet. The best news, but also the worst news. Maybe God will be gracious and grant us a girl. Oh, Jochebed, we can only trust God. He has brought us through many trials.
I know. I do trust him with all my heart, as our Levite fathers did in times past. But I'm not sure I can trust him with this.
Mummy, are you awake?
Miriam, are you all right? Why are you out of bed?
I had a bad dream.
Oh, come, little one. Sit on my lap. What was your dream about?
I dreamt I had a little brother, but you were sad. That you were crying. That made me sad too.
Oh, Miriam, don't be sad. It was just a dream. Go back to bed and try to sleep. Good night, little one.
Good night, Mother. I'll try to sleep.
What a strange thing. How could she possibly know that I'm having a baby?
Maybe God has told her to help us prepare ourselves. We must pray for his mercy whatever happens.
Jochebed and Amram got no sleep that night. Amram was wondering, had God spoken to Miriam? If so, what did it mean? Jochebed feared what might happen if the baby was a boy. Could she bear to lose a child?
In the story of Miriam by Gloria Kearney, the part of Pharaoh was played by Stephen Looney and Jochebed by Hilary Dewhurst. Amram was played by John Lander and other parts by members of the Commission Radio Drama team. The play was produced in Commission Studios in Belfast by Colin Flanagan. Episode 2 is entitled The Plan.